All right, I was following up on the last video, and I want to apologize to anybody that was looking for me and hasn't seen me since we shut things down and really slowed down since the um, pandemic. Um, but I wanted to point out a couple things in reference to the last video. Um, Most everybody by now has heard of the sayings that we're at war with not the flesh, but of powers and principalities. Um, that goes with scripturally, biblically, but it also goes in a few other ways and relates to many different truths, I guess. But all reflecting and being the same. At 2020, and we all grew up hearing 2020 is hindsight, and hindsight is 2020. Well, I heard that all of our life. I never thought about it until we get to now, and now it's 2020, and we're looking back, um, and we can see the extraordinary uh, situation that we're all in worldwide. It seems to be. Um, I think that's pretty obvious, and never has it been more obvious to me that it is a spiritual battle going on. And I think if we're aware, we can all see that battle's going on within each of us also. Um, Now, speaking on the biblical side of things, um, I think to a large part, what we've always heard about the fallen angels and that, um, I think we're the fallen ones, humanity, and there's a we're certainly in this place of duality. There's good and evil, up, down, left, right, hot, cold. Everything has the opposite. They talk about it being on this 3D um, plane, but also within each of us we have the Cain and the Abel. I'm doing a lot of reading and research and a lot of listening to others much more knowledgeable than me, and even some in the way of mastery and um, some great teachers as far as that goes. um, and there is the battle, and there is a decision to be made in it, and it's which way are we going to go with? Are we going to go with our dark side or our light side? Now, I'm kind of going back and forth in that X marks the spot, being in the middle, and that would put like kind of a lukewarm or a gray look. But either way, we don't want to be at battle with anything. As soon as we're at war, we are at war, and it's peace we're looking for. So that would certainly be um, the desired place to be, for many anyway. Um, and there's a lot of people that have a lot that have a role to fill in, and there's maybe on our journey, it seems like we live both sides of it. We can you know we can we can do some pretty rotten things, and when it comes to hurting others and stuff like that, we really need to bring that into question. It's one thing hurting ourselves, um, and that's sad on its own, and something that we'd like to not do. But hurting others and taking others down, um, is is really something we need to stop doing. And it's gotten to a point now to where everybody needs to make a decision of where they're going to be at on this, and it does have long term consequences for our decisions. Now, we can and are each other's redeemer in a way that if how we're supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. That goes pretty deep, and is some really good words and advice. What we give, what we put out, what we project is certainly what we end up getting back. And if you're like me at all, I rather enjoy being forgiven and loved and um, held in confidence and good thought rather than the opposite. Um, I don't feel that I'm anything above anybody else by any means, and um, I've got that dark side as well. I think we all do. Anybody with a soul or conscience is with that battle. Now, a lot of us, because of situations, trauma, um, a lot of us have turned off that side of ourselves. In other words, not feeling any empathy towards anyone else, not recognizing when we're hurting someone else, and even if we recognize it, going as far as not caring about it. Um, we really got to take a look at ourselves when we're not concerned at all uh, about hurting others. Um, it is our feelings and our emotions that's what makes us human. That's it's not bad. It's not weak. It's not wrong to be able to feel emotions and have these feelings. It's what makes us human. It's not a bad thing. It's what gives us our checks and balances and keeps us on lines and it's how we learn and all that. Now we come to a situation where a lot of folks are waking up to the situation that we're in. um, the first thing that we got to do is in knowing thyself is knowing that we're all a part of this, whether just this lifetime or lifetimes prior. We're all a part of where humanity and consciousness is right now. It's because of where we've all put it. We all have an equal role in it, and everybody is just as important, matters just as much. I've used the analogy of the watch a few times because it makes sense. It doesn't matter which gear in the watch; they're all important. Even the smallest, most insignificant spring or whatever, if the watch doesn't have it, it doesn't function. Well, in the same with us. If we look at humanity as a whole, and that we're each a part in it, we're each that important and matter that much. Um, for us to get out of the situation we're in right now, there's a side, I would say the darker side, that has every intention of locking us all down. Um, and they've expressed that they're doing a culling. They're getting rid of a large part of the population, a very large part of the population, and they've forecasted that all the way across the boards until somebody gets out of the box that we're in. You can't see that you're in a box. And so it comes as a huge surprise when we find out that we're in a reality that's been um, decided for us. Um, how we're supposed to think, feel, act, say, all that. And it's a tough one because it plays on our egos and our pride, our greed, our jealousies, our hatreds, our weaknesses. But it also plays on our strengths. It's a challenge. Each and every one of us is the hero that comes and saves the day, and each and every one of us need each and every one of us. I need you. You need me. We all need each other. We all play a role, and until everybody's awake, we've got to cover for those that aren't. And this takes compassion and empathy. We've got to forget about revenge and payback and all these things that are keeping us in the situation we're in. Um, when money is our god, and if you're being driven your whole life, all your actions, all your stuff is being driven by that money, that is idolatry and that is your god. And it's certainly and it says right on the money, in God we trust. Well, what God is that we're um, trusting in. If we don't bring love, compassion, forgiveness to the table, we're done. Just as in the days of Noah, we're done. It's over. And this is playing for keeps because souls are on the line. And with just a little bit of research and cognitive thinking, critical thinking, um, we can discover these truths. Um, just going by what we're told and listening to the official narrative, the mainstream, it's it's so far from the truth, it's ridiculous. And in this case, um, fiction is stranger than nonfiction, than the truth. I'm going to pause it right there and see where I'm at on that. At this point, I got to keep under 15 minutes. So let me just go with that.